Teacher Talking Sports with those would do how we live. And let's continue the NHL Mount Rushmore series I've been doing, where I name who I believe are the four best players in each decade in NHL history. Previously did these NHL Mount Rushmore videos for the four best players in each franchise history, four best players at each position in NHL history. These are all in a playlist. You can check them out. I started with the 2010s for the NHL. Today we will move to the 1940s. So in alphabetical order by last name, I decided to include Max Bentley, Turk Broda, Bill Durnan, and Maurice Rocket Richard. Those are the four. I included more on them in a little bit. Some of the toughest omissions include Max Bentley's brother, Doug Bentley. We got Elmer Locke, Sil Apps, to name a few. But let's get into the four I chose. And again, I named them in alphabetical order by last name. So starting with Max Bentley. So Bentley played so let me start by saying 1939 40 to 48 49 is where this is considered the 40s Mount Rushmore. But Bentley played from 40 41 to 42 43, 45 46 until 48 49. Most of that with the Blackhawks. The last two seasons, most of the second to last season with the Maple Leafs. Missed a couple seasons because of World War II. But in that time, Bentley was a Hart Trophy winner in 1945-46. Also finished third and fourth in Hart Trophy voting. He was a first-team All-Star in 45-46. Won the Lady Byng in 1942-43. If we take a look at his numbers from the decade again, so from when he started 40-41 to 48-49, Bentley played 348 games, had 151 goals, 194 assists, 345 points. Things like plus minus were not around at the time. But in back-to-back seasons, 45-46 and 46-47, Bentley, while with the Blackhawks, led the league in scoring, 61 and 72 points respectively, had 31 goals in 45-46, had three more seasons of at least 26 goals. He had two seasons of at least 40 assists and a season of 30 assists as well. With the team, had 10 power play goals in the 45-46 season to lead the NHL. Won two Stanley Cups, and it was after he left the Blackhawks to go to the Maple Leafs. 48 and 49 won Stanley Cups. In those playoffs, 18 games, 8 goals, 10 assists for 18 points. Altogether for the decade, 29 postseason games, 12 goals, 13 assists for 25 points. Max Bentley is the first member of my 1940s NHL Mount Rushmore. Next, let's go with a goaltender, and I'm going to name Turk Broda on my Mount Rushmore. Now, Broda played with the Maple Leafs his whole career, so played from 1939-40 to 42-43. Again, World War II had him take off two seasons, and from 45-46 to 48-49. But in that time, he won two Vezina trophies. Again, Vezinas were given out to teams who, to the goalie who was the number one goalie on a team who gave up the least goals. But both those seasons, he was a first-time All-NHL as well. Had a fourth-place Hart Trophy finish. But for the decade, Broda played in 388 games, winning 194 of them. 2.63 goals against average, 30 shutouts. Save percentage was not a statistic at the time. Twice in the decade, he led the league in wins, 28 in 1940-41. Again, seasons were well short of 82 back then. And 32 in 47-48. Twice led the league in goals against average, 2.00, 40-41, 2.38 and 47-48. Only had two seasons in the decade with a goals against average over 3. Led the league in shots in 41-42. That was one of 6 seasons in the decade where Broda had at least 4 shutouts for the year. In the postseason, he was a member of 4 Stanley Cup winning teams with the Maple Leafs. and put up some excellent numbers in the postseason. So for the decade, he went 43 and 22 in his 65 games with a 2.12 goals against average and 5 shutouts. And each year that he was in the playoffs, so 7 years in the decade, never had higher than a 2.73 goals against average. So really performed quite admirably in the postseason. Turk Broda, the second member of my 1940s Mount Rushmore. Next, let's go to another goaltender, and that is Bill Durnan. Durnan didn't start his career until 1943-44, so played 6 seasons in a decade, just 1 season after that. But in his 6 seasons from 43-44 to 48-49, he won 5 Vezina trophies in that 6-year span. Again, I already mentioned why a goalie would get the Vezina, but was a 5-time NHL First All-Star Team member as well. So again, those Vezinas, if it was given to the best goalie, he probably would have gotten them. Had Hart Trophy finishes of 2nd and 3rd in that time. So from 43-44 to 48-49, Durnan went in 319 games, had 182 wins, a 2.39 goals against average, and 26 shutouts. Each of his first 4 years of his career, he led the league in wins, 3 seasons of at least 34 wins. Each of his first 4 seasons led the league in goals against average, and his 6th season as well did so. Never had higher than a 2.77 goals against average in that time. The league in shutouts twice, including 10 in the 1948-49 season. Won 2 Stanley Cups with the Canadiens in the decade, 1944 and 1946, and was quite superb in the postseason. 42 games in the decade, 27 wins, 1.99 goals against average, 2 shutouts. In the 2 Stanley Cup winning seasons, he went a combined 16-2, a 1.53 goals against average in 1944, 2.06 in 1946. Bill Durnan, one of the all-time great old-time goalies. He's the 3rd member of my 1940s Mount Rushmore. And let's end with the guy who has the trophy named after him for the guy who leads the league in goals scored. That is Maurice Rocket Richard. Richard's career began in 1942-43, so he played 7 seasons in the decade, 42-43 to 48-49, all with the Canadiens. In that time, he won a Hart Trophy in 1946-47. Also was a runner-up for Hart Trophy 2 seasons prior to that. Was a 5-time first-team All-NHL member. So for the decade, the Rocket Richard, 334 games played, 207 goals, 142 assists for 349 points. Twice led the league in goals scored, 50 in 50 games in 44-45, 45 in the 46-47 season. Only played 16 games his rookie year, but every other season had at least 20. Was a guy who just put so much pressure on opposing teams. Twice led the league in even strength goals and twice in power play goals. Had a total of 34 game-winning goals in the decade. Again, one of the great all-time goal scorers, really for any era. Won 2 Stanley Cups in the era, in that 40s decade, 1944 and 1946, where he combined for 19 goals in 18 games in the postseason. You would think if Conn Smythe trophies were handed out back then, he might have gotten 1, if not 2. But for the decade, played in 41 postseason games, 33 goals, 17 assists, 50 points. The Rocket, Maurice Richard, the 4th member of the 1940s Mount Rushmore. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I think I'm going to do 2 more, the 1930s and 1920s. The NHL started in 1917. So stay tuned for those. And then after that, I will be doing the NBA Mount Rushmore, starting with the 2010s. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell notifications. I'm out.